What's up, YouTube? It's Brea with the Greenhouse Effect Huntsville. And today I am bringing you our very first interview in Mauve Convos. Our very special guest is a phenomenal woman. She is an author, a mother, a business owner, a motivational speaker, a philanthropist, and she also is the host of Behind Every Man on Oprah Winfrey Network. She is also one of the producers for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Yes, you guessed it. Melody Holt, and we are outside her office today to get to know her and talk about more things business. So come on and join us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And I think it's wonderful that you are working hard to shed light on the entrepreneur journey.
Yes, most definitely. I think it's needed because, you know, so many girls have questions and they're just like kind of confused about, you know, how do you do this, how you do that within the entrepreneur journey. So I think it's just best just come on the platform and talk about it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's talk about a little bit about your journey. What kind of, you know, persuaded you to jump into entrepreneurship?
So I actually went to school for English education. So I have a degree in secondary education, and I'm not going to say that I didn't have the spirit of entrepreneurship, but at the time, you know, my thing was I wanted to be in the classroom and I wanted to show the younger generation what Black success looks like, even if you come from a single parent home or even if you have humble beginnings. Mm-hmm. And so that was what I really wanted to do. And in the midst of actually teaching, you know, as you know, teachers don't get paid a lot of money. Yeah. And it's sad, teachers still don't get paid a lot of money. And while I was teaching, it became necessary for me to try to supplement my income. Right. And so a way that I did that is myself and my ex-husband, we actually started a lawn company and a cleaning company. And from there, we started doing work on foreclosed properties. So we kind of quickly got into, you know, entrepreneurship and kind of working for ourselves, right. Mainly first to supplement an income, and then it actually became the main income, and we were able to resign from teaching.
Okay. Yeah. So like you said that you kind of bridged into entrepreneurship, didn't just jump into it, and that's that's something that you did tell me about. Just make sure that, you know, you're doing well and just kind of merge in before you leave your 9-to-5 or, you know, whatever else.
Absolutely. So, you know, I have a book called The 9-to-5 Entrepreneur, 12 steps to consider, questions to consider before taking the leap. And in that, we address several things that you should think about before jumping into entrepreneurship. I tell people all the time, don't mix faith with foolishness.
Yes.
You know, it's important to have faith and believe in your dreams and yourself, but be very wise and strategic on how you move with that, when you resign, if you do have a 9-to-5, when you actually walk away. And I would tell anyone, don't do that until you are in a place where the income from what was once your side hustle matches or is close to your main source of income. Because you don't want bills are going to keep coming. You don't want to find yourself in a bind because you mix faith with foolishness. Right. So I say all the time, be very wise.
Very wise, yes. So let's just say, you know, you jumped into entrepreneurship. You know, did you have anyone that kind of molded you into that beforehand? Did you know any entrepreneurs before you jumped into your journey?
So it's interesting that you ask that because, you know, whenever you're doing, sometimes you don't really think and really see the impact that people are having on you until later in life, and then you look back. And so recently I actually took a moment to just really think about, you know, where and when and how did I see entrepreneurship growing up? And it hit me. I remember my mom having a cleaning business, and I would work with her on the weekends. I would work with her sometimes after school, cleaning the offices, cleaning the homes. And so I saw firsthand as a young girl what entrepreneurship looked like. At the time, I thought I was just going to work with my mom and helping my mom. Right. But I guess it was instilling something in me in terms of what it meant to be responsible, to get contracts, to get clients, to keep clients happy, and to have good, strong work ethic.
Okay. Yeah. She said she owned her own cleaning business, so you kind of like went with her sometimes and saw her working. And so I think it's important, you know, because you got to spend a lot of time with your mom. You know, a lot of people don't get that chance to do that as, you know, children. Yeah. And so, you know, I think that really, like you said, kind of helped mold you into the entrepreneur world, and, you know, you felt comfortable doing it. So
absolutely.
Kudos. So what was the hardest thing jumping into entrepreneurship? I guess balancing out. Did you have like issues of like, you know, your relationships, friendships, family ships? Was it like stressful finance wise? Like what was your hardest adjustment into entrepreneurship?
So, in all candidacy, I would say that being in business with your spouse, it's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. I say all the time, it's nothing greater than doing what you love with
Who you love, yeah.
It's beautiful. However,
Those times.
the flip side to that is that for us, we had to learn what hats we had on at the office versus the hats we wore at the house.
Right.
So for example, at the office, while I may be running things, making the final decisions about certain things, when it came to being the wife at home, we at first struggled with until we kind of figured it out and learned and communicated. We had to figure out, I had to learn how at home, since I'm the wife, I don't get to make the final decisions.
Right.
Right. And so being honest, that was something that we definitely had to figure out and pull wisdom even from others who are older than us, who've been in business as husband and wife, and what that looked like going from making decisions in the office versus being submissive in the home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So awesome. Like I said, I went through the same thing because I opened my first business with my husband. And so we had to learn how to separate business from personal. Kind of like you said, like date nights, we're not talking about business stuff. We're not talking about nothing that happened on in the daytime, but also, business is business. So that's how we had to conduct things too. So that's
really
awesome.
And see, we tried that for a while, but what we found was, even though we said we're not going to talk business at home, it was hard if an email came through and you got a contract approved or you got awarded some big bid to be like, oh shoot, okay, so now let's see how we want to plan this out, how we going to make it happen, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or if in the evenings at home, something is happening on a project or on site and it's like we got to talk about it and make a decision, what are we going to do? Do we pull the contractors off? Do we leave the contractors, on the project?
I get it.
So it was very tough, It's like it became just a part. I think it all just started becoming a part of our lives in every area.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
To be like
it doesn't always happen like that, but you could try.
It's tough. And then especially if it's something you enjoy also. So if it's a business that you both actually enjoy, people tend to talk about stuff they enjoy.
Yeah.
And
most
share.
Definitely. Most definitely.
So we didn't do too well in that department.
Well, like I said, it just goes to show it's not perfect. The only thing you do is try. Yep. And so, like I said, I commend anybody who does go into business with their spouses. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot, but like I said, there's nothing greater than doing what you love and who you love, and to be able to be in business with someone who you feel like you should be able to trust. You're not worried about if they're taking money out the business. You're worried about if they're going behind your back, getting other contracts behind, because it's one family, one unit, and it's all going to the
money
same
came
home.
into the same house. Yep.
So it takes all of that away versus if you have a partner who is not your spouse. You never know what kind of things on the side they may be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that trust piece of it, becomes unquestionable to an extent when it's your spouse.
So let's talk about a few of your businesses. Your Profit Preservation, HPA.
Oh yes, girl. So I love my Holt Preservation Academy. It was one of those things that was birthed during the pandemic. My first class was June of 2020. And I would say it was one of those things where I had the idea for a while. I kind of put a few things together here and there. But kind of, when you're in labor and you're just carrying something and you're carrying something. And then eventually it's like, okay, now girl, go on and give birth to this thing,
Yeah.
It was one of those kind of situations. So I didn't even remember that I had sent this to my graphic designer at one point, or that it was even on my website. And I literally woke up in May and I had an inbox in my email from PayPal for a $1,500 payment. I said,
oh, wow.
On my website for $1,500. I was like, I ain't on my website for $50. What was this? And it hit me, and I was like, wait, it's my Claire. That's the only thing that could be up there for $1,500. So long story short, at the time, I had to immediately make a decision. Okay, do I write the person whose email I see who just paid for this course and let them know I'm not doing it right now? Or do I look at it and say, okay, God, I see you, which is what I ended up doing. Okay, God, I see you. You're pushing me on out to make this happen. And because of that first payment and that first student actually registering for the course, it really caused me to go ahead and put all of my content together, put my description together, start marketing for the course. And from May, my first class started in June, I had 20 students who had signed up for my course.
Wow.
And so in a little under 4 weeks, I had 20 students in the class. And
that's amazing.
I was like, I think part of it was being obedient to the push, to the it's time to give birth to this. And
God said go.
God said go. And now going from 20 students to now I've had over 200 students in less than a year.
Wow,
I mean, it's a blessing and it's phenomenal. So I tell people all the time, don't sit around waiting for everything to be perfect and waiting for everything
Sometimes you just gotta go.
Sometimes you gotta just go. You gotta go for it.
Most definitely. So that's one of your businesses. So let's talk about your music. You're a recording artist.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what should we be looking forward to in the near future? Like, are you releasing some singles? Are you putting together an album or?
So I actually just dropped my single Telltale Signs in March. It did phenomenal, by far greater than I expected. Being a first-time artist, my first single, we actually received an email from Billboard because we were in the running for top 25. And I was like, whoa, wait, what?
I know that's a lot just for your first single, That's amazing.
I'm very, very grateful for that. And, I started singing when I was 5. And so my first performance was when I was 5, and throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, I've always sang, been in different, competitions, been in pageants. So I've always been at church, praise and worship team, playing the keyboard. So I've always been into music and being able to get back to that now and use that as a way for me to go through my process, my healing,
it's a blessing,
and my, express my emotions.
Yeah.
It has definitely been a blessing for me. So I do have a single, Telltale Signs, that is out on all platforms. And I have another single that I'm dropping shortly after that. And then I'll be releasing my EP album.
Nice. I can't wait to hear it. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. I think it's something, Telltale Signs is a song that most women can relate to in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it was something that they've gone through personally or if it's something that they've known a close relative or a girlfriend who has gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
And so in some shape, form, or fashion, all women can relate. And I think that's why it did so well, coming out, because it was one of those things that
hit you in the heart.
Absolutely. And that's what I wanted. Sometimes we get caught up in beats and I wanted people to still feel.
Yes.
So I allow
feel
my
good
emotion to go into that song. And I'm just thankful for all of the supporters, all the fans, and everyone who's just been supportive through the entire process.
Yeah, I mean, using your platform and, just being so transparent, I think people can really feel it. And they know when someone is being transparent through music, like you said, versus a beat or just versus a rhythm, it's music that you can really feel. So yes, I definitely agree. A lot of women felt it. And, I sat here and looked at all the feedback from the songs and, everybody loved it. And you did a really good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Still got a ways to go, but we getting
there. No, you're getting there. Trust me, you're good. So what keeps motivating you to push through just such a hectic schedule, balancing your kids, your business, what keeps you going? What keeps you so motivated?
I would say my motivation comes from my desire to build generational wealth and make an impact in my community.
Right.
I feel that when it comes to purpose, there's nothing that trumps God's purpose in your life. There's nothing that should trump God's purpose in your life. I don't care what you're going through. You've got to be in your purpose, and you've got to live that out every single day.
Most definitely.
At the end of the day, I want my children. I have 3 girls and 1 boy. And I want my children. I want my children to be able to say, "Wow, Mom did that, and because she did that, I can do this."
Yeah.
And so all of that matters, and I know that hard work pays off. I do a lot, but I don't believe in balance. I believe in prioritizing.
Okay.
I used to believe in balance. I used to get up and speak about balance.
Okay.
And then I was like, one day it hit me and I was like, wait a minute, girl, you really ain't doing no balancing for real. Some stuff out of order. Not on the same level with me here. And so I was like, well, how? So I had to sit back and think for a minute. So what do I do? How do I make this stuff happen every day? And it really became prioritizing whatever has to get done right then, right now, at this moment becomes priority. So if my child is sick today, she's priority. If I have a business deal that I have to close, a meeting I need to do, that becomes priority for the day.
Right.
So I just, I find ways to move, and prioritize, in order to make everything happen.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. It makes a big difference. And because I'm the one who likes balance, because I guess, I study engineering, and so they teach us to balance, all the time. So, but like you said, sometimes you can't. You just have to, what's important comes first, and, you have to kind of deal with everything else afterwards. So I agree, I understand.
And having a support team that understands that and respects that.
Yes, that's a big one. Yeah.
So, if you can't go on date night or hang out and watch a movie late this week because you got a big deadline this week, having people around you, friends and spouses who are in your life to say, okay, I understand. I know, I got it. We'll pick up next week. Versus you ain't hanging out with me anymore. Did the friendship change? No, I'm just busy this week, but I got you next.
Yeah, and that that's one thing that I kind of struggle with. People can kind of mistake your business for being funny or acting funny. It's not that you just trying to get your life in order, and it takes a lot of discipline to do that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I resigned from teaching when I was 25. Okay. So, and I've been a sole entrepreneur and not worked for anyone for 10 years. So for me, it has been definitely a lot of discipline and a lot of sacrifice. Mm-hmm. In my early 20s, I wasn't out partying and having a good time. I was running a business. Yeah. And so when people look at the now, but you don't understand the how and the fruits of my labor that you're now seeing, you don't know what all I had to do to get there.
It looks easy, but it ain't.
It's not, and it wasn't. And but I knew that if I kept pushing, that eventually I would get somewhere.
Yeah. Most definitely. I highly respect that. Like I said, people just don't understand what it takes in entrepreneurship. When you're betting on yourself, it's a game changer. Like, you don't have anybody behind you to back up, what you're doing. It's you. It's your business depends on you. So with that being said, what would you say that your passion is?
Oh, my passion.
Yes.
I would say my passion aligns with my purpose, which is inspiring and encouraging on a daily basis, honestly. When I think about my decision to want to be an educator and wanting to be in the classroom so that my students could daily see Black success, and I could in some shape, form, or fashion inspire them to keep pushing and to keep going, and you can get somewhere. I'm doing the same thing now, honestly, just on a different level. So it's interesting how sometimes things will come full circle. Yeah. And so now, I do motivational speaking, and it's an opportunity for me to pour into the same way I was pouring into my students every day. Yeah. It's another way for me to pour into the lives of others and speak life and speak hope and speak positivity.
I think that's that teacher spirit in you, like it never left.
Yeah. So, I've been getting that lately. Oh my gosh.
Because you had a teacher just nurturing,
Yeah, I have been getting that. I've had a few people lately tell me, they're like, you know what? That teacher spirit still in you. I can see. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I guess so. It never leaves. I guess I've heard the phrase before, once a teacher, always a teacher. Oh, yeah. And I guess it's true.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So, I'm glad that you are actually out here teaching and, just educating our community, because we need it. And even beyond our community, because, we just need to be taught. It's not that, someone is stupid or, ignorant or whatever else. It's just that you don't know. Absolutely. And when you have someone that just opens up their life and opens up, their space to teach you something that makes a big difference. And so that's, that's one of my goals, like yours, just to teach others and help others and improve, especially women. So, kudos to that. Yeah.
Thank you. And same to you.
Thank you so much. So I just want to know, we kind of touched on this earlier about, merging. What is your advice to women who are looking to leave salaried positions and jump into entrepreneurship? Because I know some women work on the arsenal here. They have good paying jobs, but they're not with the 9 to 5. They're not with the, being at work all week and their kids at home. What's one good piece of advice that you would give to women who are looking to leave their salaried position and jump into entrepreneurship?
So definitely, kind of one of the things that I mentioned before, if you can, start your business while you're on your 9 to 5 and build it while you're working your 9 to 5. That's what I did. I was teaching. I was at a point where I was having 18, 19-hour days every day because I was teaching, then grading papers, then making lesson plans, and then also running my business, issuing out work orders to my contractors, recruiting contractors, closing work orders, billing clients, wake up in the morning, same thing at the school at 7 o'clock, teaching all day, grade papers, lesson plans.
It's a lot.
Same thing every day, right? Yeah. But I did that until I saw that it made sense. And when I saw that it made sense, that is when I left the teaching career, my teaching career, and went straight into entrepreneurship full time. So like I said, just be Be strategic and do it when it makes sense. Don't allow, for sure, other people's opinions to
That's a big one.
you. Yeah,
girl, that ain't gonna work, and this and that.
So,
like,
and the thing is, everyone doesn't have an entrepreneur mindset, so you can't share your vision and your dreams with everyone because everybody's not gonna get it.
Yeah, it's only for you to understand.
They're just not gonna get it, and that's okay for them not to get it. There's no hard feelings whatsoever, but you have to understand that everyone may not support your dreams, your passion, or your vision. So be mindful that may be how it goes with family and friends.
Yeah.
But you have to be secure in your decision when the time is right, because we ain't gonna mix what? Faith with foolishness.
Faith with foolishness. So you said, as far as tuning out other people's opinions, how, I'm not gonna say how you did that, but I know it's easy to ignore, but say someone close to you, like your mom or your dad or your spouse or your best friend, how did you keep going to know that, okay, I'm gonna do it anyway? I know what I'm doing, I have faith in what I'm doing, I prayed about it. Is that more, is it prayer that grounded you in that decision?
So fortunately, I wasn't in a position where I didn't have support from family or close friends.
Okay.
So I'm thankful for that.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. So they were actually very supportive. Not to the place where they could write a $10,000 check and say, go start your business. Not that for it. We want, what I'm saying? Not that.
Yeah.
But when it came to the encouragement and, you got it, you can do it, definitely had that for sure. At the end of the day, it's one of those things where you just got to remember who you are and whose you are. Meaning you can do anything you set your mind to. And
most definitely.
Follow your intuition. I feel that we have a God-given intuition that connects us directly to our Creator. Listen to that, pay attention to that, and follow.
Most definitely.
Yep.
Okay. Well, so that's going to conclude our very first part 1 series of our business spotlight and Mauve Convos with Melody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for part 2, where we talk about Mauve Convos and get a little more into the tea with Melody. Thank you.